Turn it up. Why
Let's
not?
go.
Turn it up.
Let's go.
Let's get ourselves going here tonight. What is everybody? Welcome to the Winners Lounge.
Winners Lounge.
Let's go. Presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We're also live here in the Toyota Winners Lounge, driven by your front range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Hop yourself in the Toyota chat there, fellas. Join the show with us. Kale will be bringing your comments up on the screen. Unless you're complaining about something. Nothing to complain about after that game, other than the fact that it took 4.5 hours.
It did take really long.
Man, they just had to call every foul.
That was a really long game. But you know what? The Nuggets get it done in Houston. What a dub.
What a dub.
And what a game for one Jamal Murray. I got Brennan Vogt in the house.
What a game from Jamal Murray is right. Frogs in the chat. Frogs on my shirt. Frogs in the chat, baby. So great.
Is that why you wore it?
It is. I still don't understand the joke, but I have.
Because there isn't anything to
It's not
understand.
enough
Joke, it
layers
was
to
just
it.
the emoji of the game.
Yeah.
Shout out
Not
Frog
even the
and
game of
Toad,
the quarter.
though.
Over here, the man with the wind in his hair.
Shout out to the Nuggets. Shout out to the funky music. I don't know how many more times we're going to get it, man. So we got to play that.
Get that negative energy out of here, man. I'm so encouraged by what I saw from the Nuggets in that
I am
game.
too.
There is some stuff. You have to squint a little bit, but there's some positive stuff even lately, especially from one Jamal Murray. Lots to get into tonight, though. Lots to get into, including rotational decisions that I think were very interesting.
Yeah.
But let's start with a fast breakdown.
Let's do it.
First note tells the story. 11-2 start from Houston. Not tonight.
Oh, man.
Not tonight,
I was like,
baby.
hang on.
Do you guys remember the start of this game?
I do, yeah.
It was so bad. The energy was awful.
Thought we were going to lose by 100.
We were sitting up here like, well, another great start to a watch along.
But the only way you bounce back from an 11-2 run is a 13-0 response. Denver was incredible, and it was mostly Jamal Murray, who had himself a little flurry in the first quarter. It wasn't the last of the day. Westbrook did have a lot of turnovers in that first quarter, though. Very frustrating. Very up and down game from him.
Very up and down.
It was like every 3 minutes, it was like a metronome. Went to the other side, then it was awful. Then it went to the other side. It was incredible. Back and forth. It was 27-27 after one. Some more Russ minutes to open the second quarter. Ugly for a minute, but the Nuggets found a rhythm, and they found it on the defensive end. With this team, man, you really are going to get Jamal Murray making tough buckets, or you're going to get stops and score in transition. They found little pockets to really play great defense in this one, and they made a run. Then a good defensive fight to end the half. It was 57-57. We have ourselves a pretty good ball game. Great start to the third, unlike that Portland game where the Nuggets, I thought, played well for a half. And then the third quarter fell apart. This one was not the case. They came out there, and what did they do? They got stops, they got second chance points, and they opened on a 14-5 run. Jamal Murray was on fire. It was that third quarter was one of the best sequences of Murray's career. If you just talk about production, do you guys remember some of the threes he was hitting?
Man,
Ridiculous, man.
I mean, overall,
Middies.
39-22.
That was
Nuggets
playoff
outscored him in
Jamal.
the third.
Oh, yeah.
That was playoff
Without
Jamal,
Jokic.
man.
Oh,
He was
yeah. Fired up,
cooking.
Kel.
Fired up. 16-point lead after Michael Porter Jr. to Peyton Watson in transition. Do you remember the slowest touchdown pass of all time?
Well, what were you less confident in? The Mike rebound, the Mike full court pass, or Peyton Watson catching and scoring?
All of them, and it was an and one. 96-79 Nuggets after the third quarter. That was the game. They had a great third quarter. Could they hold on? Horrible bench hit to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Lots of fouls, a bunch of empty possessions, and it was a 13-4 Rockets run. Game of runs. Rockets were getting to the line. Nuggets were up only 6, but then this was the end of the game in clutch time. Jamal Murray hit a tough floater. Do you guys remember going right, throw it up with his right hand, hits it, and then Russ stole the unbound pass. Huge play. I have a note in here that says AJ bucket. Oh, no, it was AG bucket on that baseline out of bounds. That should have been the clincher. In fact, I wrote in here clincher because I think it pushed it to 9.
Yeah.
But instead, Denver gave up 5 points in the next 10 seconds. Denver was up 9 with like a minute 30. It was like, oh, it's over. It's over. Throw in the towel. But instead, 5 points immediately. Then another turnover. Remember, Denver had another turnover.
Yep.
Up only 4. Murray at the line, up 5. Şengün got to the line, and the real clincher was him airballing a free throw. What the hell was that free throw?
I mean, Şengün didn't hit a jumper all game.
Very
I'm
weird.
not gonna lie, I wasn't that surprised he airballed it.
Yeah, but an air ball at the foul line in the pressure cooker, that's a tough one. Nuggets pull out the win in Houston. Let's go to our Red Hawk Roofing big takeaways. Go ahead and start us off, Harrison.
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway, this was a great win, man, for a team that has not had a lot of marquee victories this season. To go into Houston on the last game of a road trip. Last game of the road trip is always the toughest. You're looking forward to getting home, especially if it's like a 4-game road trip, which this one was. You're playing a Rockets team that is, 26-11 at home on a 9-game winning streak.
Snapped
it. And this was a Rockets defense that's been the 3rd best defense this season. And Jamal Murray torched them for 39 points. Obviously, Jamal Murray, the headliner. The defense overall was great. I think that's the central storyline in this game. But, I mean, this is just a really impressive win, man. And the defense was great. Jamal Murray was great. Enough guys stepped up. And to do it without Nikola Jokic, especially with how they looked last game and how they've looked at times without Nikola Jokic this season. Really impressive win. And 2-2 on the road trip.
2-2,
bad.
Not bad at all. They got bookend wins, one at Golden State, one at Houston. They lose in the middle to the Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers, but this was a big one, especially because, as you mentioned, Houston now just 1 game up.
Yeah,
for the 2 seed in the Western Conference. What's your Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway?
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is a Red Hawk Roofing big shout out to DeAndre Jordan. 15 rebounds in this game, guys. 12 of them were on the defensive end. We talked about it on the pregame show. How could you not, regardless of opponent? Defensive rebounding, second chance points, one of the, can't really call it an Achilles heel when you have multiple weaknesses. One of the weaknesses for Denver. And the Rockets are really good at that in particular. Offensive rebounding, second chance points. They even went to a couple of bigs out there at once. DeAndre Jordan, this is part of what people were calling for, with the 3-guard lineup. You're putting yourself behind the 8 ball with rebounding a little bit. But also shout out to DeAndre, not just getting the call, but then performing. And I also would extend it beyond just personnel. I still think defensive rebounding, to some extent, has to be viewed as a controllable factor.
Yeah.
They may not have the best personnel for it, but everyone can be 5 to 10% better at it. And you look at that last game, you look at this game, and I thought the difference in areas like that made all the difference in the world. And you probably would have lost this game if you weren't keyed in on that area. So, I just hope these guys have figured out, like Malone always says, know why you win, know why you lose. I hope these guys have figured out that when they lose, a lot of the time it's the rebounding. Shout out DeAndre Jordan for coming in there tonight and doing his job, 12 defensive rebounds.
But can they rebound? That's honestly a question, because you're right. That is what they have to do, but can they do it? I don't know. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit later on. My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway, Jamal Murray.
Yep.
What a performance from him. This is what you ask of. When your best player is out, second best player needs to move into spot number 1 and act like it.
Yeah.
Play like it, perform like it. He was unbelievable tonight. He was unbelievable. Some of the shot making he made, Jamal remains the most mysterious player in the NBA, because the shots he makes tonight are not the shots other guys can make. You know what I mean? Those are superstar level shots. He doesn't always have it, but I do think, I wasn't on the show the last 2 games, the ones the Nuggets lost. Watching it, it's funny when you are don't have to do the show about it, or not just right in the moment, you kind of digest it or whatever. I walked away from both games feeling this last one in particular, Jamal Murray is showing these signs, the quickness, getting to his spots. He's tailed off late in games, and I think he tailed off in this one, to be honest with you. He's pretty exhausted. But the peak is right back there with what we remember his peak being, meaning the best of him looks like a guy that Dylan Brooks, I'm sorry, you have no chance. Amen Thompson, I'm sorry, you have no chance. He's a guy you can absolutely cook. His 3-point shot was not hitting the rim tonight. His mid-range jumpers were not hitting the rim. The tough floaters, man, he just had everything going. And while there's plenty of stuff to point to, and we do it on the show almost every single episode, we point to all of the flaws the Nuggets have. Have they proven they're a championship contender? No, in my opinion. But Jamal Murray is a big piece of why we believe in this team. And I actually think that even over these last handful of games, there's been enough pockets of Jamal Murray's greatness for me to be like, it's almost there. It's almost there. Tonight it was fully there, and they get a road win without Jokic over a very good team.
Yeah, and it was against the 3rd best defense. And Amen Thompson and Dylan Brooks, who are two very good defenders. And he also did that, almost that, 34 points against the Thunder, who have very good perimeter defenders as well. He's had a dud mixed in there, that one against the Timberwolves. But, other than that, I'm with you. He has been showing the signs. And what I loved about his game tonight, these were playoff-type shots that Jamal Murray was getting and making tonight.
Kale, can you pull up his shot chart? It's on ESPN.
It's not like he was tricking anybody tonight.
Yeah.
It's not like the Nuggets were running crazy schemes for him and these crazy play calls, and he was getting shots that he normally doesn't get. He was like going one-on-one, taking guys into the post, step backs, turnarounds, just getting to his spots and sticking it in people's eyes. Like this was Jamal Murray in his zone tonight. Like this was his bread and butter stuff. The shots he got, how he got them. At his peak, that's his bag, and he was deep in it tonight. These were just Jamal Murray in the playoffs. At his peak, that's what this looks like.
Look at these shots. On the left side is his shot chart. Look at that. That's not right. A lot of times, guys' shot charts are 3 spots or something, whatever. That's the entire court. His shots were everywhere tonight. Tons of tough ones, tons of middies, jumpers, and he just was in his bag, man. And to your point, those are the important shots, because in the playoffs, who makes those? That's the question. Look at how many red circles are there on the right side in the mid-range zone versus just Jamal Murray?
Yeah.
He had more in that zone than the other team.
And weirdly, I don't even feel like Jamal forced a lot tonight either. There were possessions where it's everyone wants you to have the ball.
He didn't take any bad shots.
Yeah, he also put up 7 assists and 1 turnover in this game. That's Murray at his peak without Jokic. How often do we see that, really? And I would say it's one of the fair remaining knocks on Jamal is, as far as second options go, just juxtapose this with the Portland game. You look at that go and you go, most teams can actually do this. Just sit a guy, and the second option looks like the first option for one game at a time. And Denver hasn't had that luxury. But then Jamal shows you tonight, actually, he's capable of it.
Yeah.
He's capable. He didn't need Jokic on the floor tonight. Consistency, a higher standard, all that stuff is fair. But then he showed us tonight, okay, he can do that even without 15. And so that's the difference between this and the Portland game. In addition to some of the other stuff we talked about, Jamal Murray came out like a champion tonight, and Jamal Murray was invisible in that last game. And he can be a difference maker even without Jokic.
He really can, man. And it's the handle, too. The finishing, he had a couple finishes. He's a really good, we were saying this on the watch-along, I think he's a top 5 offhanded finisher at the rim. I think Kyrie's in the conversation. I think Steph Curry's in the conversation. Jamal. I'm not even sure who the other guys are. Maybe a Brunson, Tyrese Maxey.
He's got a great left. He works on it a lot. If you ever see Jamal at practice or whatever, he'll just shoot 30 left-handed free throws.
Really?
And make most of them.
Really?
He's pretty ambidextrous, I think.
He was incredible, man. And again, we have to squint for silver linings a little bit because the season has been such a roller coaster.
Totally.
But we do know that the team's best punch is good enough, and you just want to see where are the signs that best punch is there. The number one to me is that Jamal Murray hits this level almost frequently enough. I say almost frequently enough for me to feel real confident. There's only 10 games left now in the season, you guys. 10 games.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
It'll be over before you know it.
Before you know it. But I don't know if he plays tomorrow. He was dead tired. This was a road trip. You play the Bulls. I hope he plays. It's because I hope the Nuggets win and keep doing this. But I don't even know if he's going to play in that one. 10 games to go, and to me, he's starting to percolate. Percolate just a little bit, get a little bit closer. And to your point, those mid-range shots, I just counted them out. He had 5 buckets tonight outside the paint, inside the three-point line. Houston as a team had 3, and 2 of those are right on the bait, on the block. Yeah. They're not even really you wouldn't even call them mid-rangers. You'd call them long post-ups or something. Yeah. So they really had 1. Jamal had 5.
Yeah.
4.
The question is can he do this in the next game? He has the 34 points against OKC, follows it up with the bad game against Minnesota. A lot of his best games, some of them at least, followed up by not so good games. He did have 55 against Portland earlier this year, and then 34 the next game against Charlotte. So, can he just do it game to game? Can he do it tomorrow night? I don't know. Can he just get that consistency down? We talked about it every year. That's kind of the key in the regular season for him.
Yeah. All right, let's take our first break. On the other side, a lot of other players to break down, but Jamal Murray, he leads off the story tonight because he was so good. We'll get to the other guys, including Russell Westbrook, on the other side.
It's Miller time, fellas. It's always Miller time when we're hanging out on the Nuggets watch-alongs. We did another one tonight. We'll be doing them to close out the season, so come hang out with us pregame, postgame, during the game as well.
We also have a new set we'll debut. I know we've kind of teased it, but we have a new set we're building for watch-alongs I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of fun. And we're doing all of it with some Miller Lights by our side. You know what I mean? It's the original light beer. It's the great tasting light beer. It's the light beer that's never been broken, and thus it's the light beer that has never been fixed. Many have tried. Many have failed to emulate the great taste, the taste you can depend on of Miller Lite. No games, no gimmicks. Just a great beer for people who like beer, and a light beer for people who like light beer, which I suddenly am on the other age of 30. Again, the original light beer since 1975, still the best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. You know about Miller Lite. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Also, shout out to Bet365. It's the app we use for our pregame picks and the app we use to bet here at DNVR. You can use the code DNVR365. When you sign up, Bet365, an official partner of the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche, whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. They have an early payout offer for NBA, also college basketball. This has been great for the tournament. Your team goes up in college by 15 points.
I like that they lowered it to 15.
You win the bet.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a quick, 5 threes. Boom, you win the bet. In the NBA, it's if your team goes up by 20 points. Instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app. Use code DNVR365. When you sign up, the early payout offer. I mean, it's the reason to use Bet365. New customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up with the code DNVR365, deposit $10. Place a bet for $5 to get $150. Boom, in bonus bets.
Boom.
If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
We are back here, segment 2. Everybody hit that like button. Everybody make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You don't want to miss anything. We're gearing up for playoffs, baby.
Man.
Gearing up for playoffs. It's getting a little intense in here.
Playoffs.
The next guy I want to talk about, Russell Westbrook, because he was both phenomenal, game-saving, and also mystifying because of some of the decisions he had. He fouled out, although he fouled out at the very end because he was in for the clutch. 5 turnovers, and it felt like even more than that. And yet he came up with one of the biggest plays defensively. I mean, he was such a mixed bag. This was the full Russell Westbrook experience. He comes off the bench tonight. You know, he had been starting when Yoke's out or somebody's out. He had been starting. Comes off the bench tonight. Only plays 24 minutes. But, man, what a mixed bag from him tonight. But it ended with the good stuff.
I'm walking away. All I'm thinking about from Russ tonight was that contest at the rim on Jalen Green, man.
Won the game.
Won the game, and it's also just a play that other Nuggets don't make. Maybe Peyton Watson. Those kind of scramble recovery, not my guys, block at the rim. But, I mean, he was free, man. Like, he broke the coverage. He was free. He was headed to the rim. That's just been such an easy layup all season long. And Russ, dude, he got so high on that contest without fouling, which sometimes he does in those moments. And so, like, look, the turnovers, the layup attempts where you're like, really? But at the end of the day, man, I'm just remembering that block, or that challenge, I should say. It was such a big-time play that saved the game, man. So that's just the first thing I think of.
Yeah. It was a massive play. I mean, one of the biggest plays of the night. And, Westbrook has made some of those plays on the defensive end. We had that steal, what was it, a couple games ago to steal that win?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he makes these plays at the end of games. How loose he is with the ball, though. I mean, in the playoffs, he's just going to have to rein it in.
The turnovers are killer in the playoffs.
The turnovers, they mean like double in the playoffs compared to what they mean right now. But the thing is, Russell Westbrook is an integral part of this team the Nuggets are built in a way that they need him to play. They need his ball handling. They need him to put pressure on the rim. Jamal Murray had 39 points tonight. Russell Westbrook was still the best Nugget at attacking and putting pressure on the rim. He is on most nights. He's able to drive the ball. He's able to get into the defense and make stuff happen there. And he hit 2 threes tonight, which you'll take. So, I mean, it was the full Russ experience. But, I mean, we know what to expect at this point in the season. He's going to have some terrible moments, but then he can win you a game with a big defensive play.
This is the, like, you have to let Russ be Russ thing that I never really liked those lines. You know, they used to do it with Will Barton, too. He's like, you just got to let him be himself. And part of me goes, role players, and Russ on this team is a role player, they have to be able to come in and, like, not anchor things down. Russ builds the team up, but he also can, like, anchor them down with some of the turnovers. And tonight you saw a lot of that, the bad version of him, especially in that first half. But, you know, he does give you all those other things. My big thought for Russ tonight, and by the way, only 1 assist from Russell Westbrook, which is kind of wild tonight. 14 points, 1 assist. But my big thing for him is he only played 24 minutes tonight. I saw somebody in the chat say Russ is great in short bursts. I think the opposite is true. I think Russ is like a rhythm player. And that worries me a little bit because in the playoffs, I don't know what it's going to be. I do think he plays the most minutes of anybody off the bench in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I actually would say, if you guys remember Bruce Brown, his year he was here.
I do.
Good in the regular season. It wasn't until the playoffs that he got great. And a lot of that was because he's got more minutes. Rotation shrunk. He played more and played more with Jokic.
Yeah.
I think the same thing's going to happen to Russ. But at the same time, he's not going to get to start. He's not going to get the like choice minutes, you know, where the rotation's built around him. So nights like tonight, I watch and I go, man, he's really going to have to figure out a rotation where he knows what his minutes are and he can find consistency in these short bursts.
Yeah, I mean, look, in part of that rotation, part of the importance there is how much of it is lined up with Jokic. And these were 24 non-Jokic minutes from Russ tonight, which is part of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's always a turnover risk when he's on the floor, always. Flip side of that is when he's on the floor with Jokic, it's another ball handler, another guy that feeds him in advantageous positions.
And they needed that tonight, by the way. This is one of the things about Christian Brown. Not a great ball handler against pressure. And late in the game, part of that 5-point turnaround, they didn't have a ball handler. Murray was gassed. They were really getting physical and getting into him. And you needed a release valve. Malone had to call a timeout, get him into the game. And that is one of the things that's nice about Russ.
You're also going to play teams like Minnesota in the playoffs, maybe.
That's going to
OKC. They're going to pressure you.
Yeah. That's going to factor in for sure. But also, man, just these type of words, I think people have felt differently about hearing them about Russ throughout the year. But the energy and effort stuff, which tonight manifested directly in a winning play, I do love that you don't really have to worry about Russ wanting it.
Yeah.
Or Russ putting his body on the line on the last play. You know, those types of things that you know he's going to bring that. And tonight it mattered in winning time.
You got a Russ take? Any other one? Do you feel good about it? We can go on now.
I feel okay about him.
We can move on now to Aaron Gordon. I thought Aaron Gordon had moments where he was a total bully tonight and moments he didn't. He did have 8 assists, and that's what jumps out to me. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. What did you see?
Yeah. Well, I mean, since Yoke's been out, it's been the Aaron Gordon show, kind of. And he was willing to take that step back with Jamal Murray playing so well tonight. So that was good to see. And he was solid. You know, AG said a couple of days ago that his body right now feels as good as it has, and the last couple months, it's felt as good as it has all season.
Yeah,
and he's healthier now, I think, than he's been throughout most of this year. And nights like tonight, when you hold Houston, again, not a great offense, but they are top 15, to 111 points, you're just more connected defensively. Aaron Gordon's a huge part of that. And I just feel like a big reason the Nuggets defense hasn't been there this year is because he's been so in and out of the lineup, his injuries all season long. He's the glue to their defense, and just having him out there for 37 minutes and him looking as athletic as he's looked recently, I think defensively and, games like tonight are the type of games you'll see from him in the playoffs. And I just love how solid he was.
8 assists and no turnovers for Aaron Gordon tonight.
Nice, no turnovers.
The malleability of Aaron Gordon is really something. I mean, the way he can be a different type of player based off what the Nuggets need. And, tonight he wasn't 30 points, but 8 assists and no turnovers is really something. He flew a little bit under the radar in some of the rebounding criticisms, I think.
Good call.
I think tonight, again, like 3 defensive rebounds, part of it. There was the one play where Şengün just went right by him. Now, he did foul him. You live with that foul. But I still just want to... At this point, I trust AG to hit an open corner 3. I want to trust AG to make the defensive play and grab the rebound again. So I don't mean that necessarily as a criticism. Tonight, he was more than fine. But... just something going forward from AG I would like to see again.
Oh, the play you're talking about with Şengün, I mean, Şengün not the most like quick first step guy and beat him on a quick first step move. Just kind of gave him a show and go. AG bit on it and then had to foul to recover. And you just look at that and go, that's Şengün. You know,
I know. How did he get beat on? Şengün's slower than Yoke on this.
Yeah, he really is. So there is a little bit of that. One thing I'll say, though, is that AG... Yoke not being out there, Malone's had to go to some lineups that are just very defensive. And he had one tonight that was AG, Christian Braun, Peyton Watson, and Westbrook on the court at the same time. And as much as that lineup is going to be a nightmare trying to score in the half court for playoffs, man, that's great defensive versatility. Tonight, Jamal was up for carrying that lineup in those key moments. Yeah. But defensively, that lineup can really do damage. And I think that's something to get excited about. Next guy I want to talk about is actually Peyton Watson. Because, you know, with him, he was a game worst minus 14 tonight. And that always means something. You know, even if it can just be randomness, he played 21 minutes, was a minus 14. But he did have some big-time defensive plays. Yeah. You know, just big-time defensive plays, and that's what you want to see out of him. 1 steal, 2 blocks. He had 3 assists even. Kind of did everything in the stat sheet. What'd you notice?
His defense, I mean, that was huge tonight. They only gave him 2 blocks. I feel like he had a couple more, and he just contested a ton of shots at the rim all night. Had a steal as well. And I loved your note about that lineup because watching it, you're like, oh, that's a defense-heavy lineup that Mike Malone's got out there. And it delivered. Like, that lineup locked up on defense. And I think that's a lineup you definitely look at in the playoffs. Yeah, it's going to be tough to score. But you know what? Like, this team has been so awful on that end of the floor all season. You just got to put the guys out there that you can to get stops, and that group can. And, I mean, PWat was central to that lineup and a lot of the stops they did get. We talked about this on the pregame show before that Portland game. Like, what else do you need to learn about the Nuggets this season, or what else is there to learn about the Nuggets this season? I think there's really only one thing. It's how big of a factor Peyton Watson will be for this team. And in games like tonight, it's obvious that he can be a huge factor. If he is a big presence defensively, the Nuggets can be a decent defense.
Yeah.
I thought I was impressed. I think there were moments of Peyton's game that were really impressive to me that I almost want to isolate and be encouraged by more than whatever the plus minus stuff were or how his minutes went. I thought Peyton stepped up. The corner 3 was huge.
Oh, by the way, that corner, was it corner? Yeah, it was corner. That was the only bucket they had for like 5 minutes. It was actually a sneaky, huge shot.
It was a big shot.
You ask, was it a corner 3? Well, did it go in? For PWat, then yes, it was a corner 3.
No, he airballed one too. But.
I know, but those are the ones, he's actually been a great corner shooter statistically. But it was a big shot, and I thought there were some great effort plays. I even liked the play. He didn't get the call, didn't get the challenge. The challenge on Jalen Green did send him to the line, but like that was almost
a crazy block.
Yeah, and again, I talked about this with Russ earlier, but no one else on this team would make that play but Peyton. So I liked that he tried it. Tough call, but I thought there were moments from Peyton that really encouraged me tonight. I leave it there.
I thought so too, man. I mean, and to your point, one thing though about him, Jalen Green to me was the perfect guy I want to see him guard over and over and again. He got some stops, got some not stops, because he's lightning quick. Very explosive, and Peyton Watson is obviously very explosive at catching up and closing the gap. And I thought there were some plays tonight where I was like, he gets beat. One thing Peyton is he gets beat a lot and then recovers. That's kind of his MO. I think Jalen Green's one of those guys you don't want to get beat off of. You want to try to stay in front of him. And tonight it was a mixed bag there, but more or less this was a forward momentum game for Peyton Watson. Where are we at, Kale? All right, let's take a break. On the other side, I want to talk about Christian Braun and Michael Porter Jr.
Shout out Toyota, the post-game shows. we're always sponsored here by Toyota. Go ahead and visit your Front Range Toyota stores. We are hanging out in the Toyota Winners Lounge. And the thing about Toyotas is that there's kind of one for everyone here in Colorado these days, no matter what type of Coloradan you are. And you may have noticed over the last 10 to 20 years, there's a lot of different types of Coloradans. Some of them are even not from here, like me. But we're here now, and as we seek our Colorado identity, we're seeking the right Toyota for us. You know what I mean? It could be one of those all-wheel drives, it could be a truck, it could be a hybrid vehicle. No matter what kind of Colorado you are, do yourself a favor. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe in Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Not yet though, fellas. Stick around. Another segment coming up.
Volo is Denver's most popular provider of adult social sports leagues, pickup games, and events. Volo is a really cool organization. They offer sports for everybody, and they offer every sport you could think of: volleyball, pickleball, kickball, basketball, cornhole, many more. They've got leagues set up all over the city: Lodo, Rhino, Highlands, City Park, Cherry Creek, South Broadway, and more. Volo, it's really fun. You can play competitively, you can play casually, meet new people, make friends, be social, be more active. And there's leagues right here at City Park, right next to the DNVR bar. Kickball happens, and then immediately everybody just comes here and goes crazy. Like, you walk into a Volo night here at the DNVR bar, you're like, God damn.
Social hour.
Social hour for sure. But yeah, if you want to, just get active, play sports, make some new friends, meet people, use the code DNVR10 for $10 off any Volo Denver league. Players can sign up as a free agent if you don't have a team, or you can do small group or a full team, and all ability levels and backgrounds are welcome. Use the code DNVR10 for 10% off any Volo Denver league.
We are back here, segment 3 of the DNVR Nuggets show. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button for us. Get this, get all the Nuggets fans here in the chat. We got another one tomorrow night.
I just remembered that. Yeah.
No rest for the wicked, man. Back to work,
saw
baby.
that on the schedule.
Back to work. Let's talk about Michael Porter Jr., 17 points, 9 rebounds. A lot of that came late. What'd you see, Vogt?
It's funny. Porter hit that one shot over Şengün where he just came streaking.
Tough one.
That kind of floating mid-ranger. It's an insane high degree of difficulty shot. It was money from the second it left his hands. And it just felt like that was a possession where he had decided, I'm getting this ball, I'm shooting, I'm scoring. And then there are other possessions where you can just see the indecision. I mean, you can see it. It's almost tangible. And I think the difference between a very confident and decisive Mike and the other version is drastic, man. Drastic. Like, he went and got the ball for a little bit there in the third quarter, got hot, right? Hit that 1-3. I'm on the watch along. Like, if he's as confident in his shot as I was, this guy would average 25 points a game. Then you get the air ball 3 at the end of the game. So it's like, I think you saw both sides of it tonight. When he was confident and engaged, I thought he played some winning basketball. And then there were other moments where he was just kind of floating out there and not as confident. The one floater layup that he almost traveled on because he wasn't sure what he was doing. But just take a mid-ranger, Mike. You can do this, man. If he puts a couple of those offensive rebounds back that he just missed, it's like a 21-point performance. You're feeling good about it. But ultimately, I just see such a big difference between a Mike who wants the ball and wants to shoot and a Mike who's afraid to do those things. So we saw a little bit of the former tonight and a little bit of the latter.
What'd you think?
I liked how he got on the glass, 9 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds. Offensively, though, I still don't know what's going on with him. I mean, there were times in this game it looked like he had the yips. Some of his passes, man, some of his decision-making, maybe it is a confidence thing, Vogt, because it looks like for stretches of games he loses all confidence. It gets just zapped from him. And it's weird, man. It's been going on since the All-Star break. It feels like something's up with him. It's just not the Mike Porter that we've seen in years past or even at times earlier this season. Again, he has stayed in this funk for a while, and I don't know, man. It's kind of the same Mike that we've seen since the break.
I like the 9 rebounds, though. I think it was important tonight. You had to get on the boards. Last guy we'll talk about. Actually, there's two guys. Well, I want to get to Christian Braun. 11 points for him. Kind of a quiet game, I would say, from Christian Braun.
He's been quiet these last couple games since coming back from that injury.
I think,
also no Jokic. So.
I think he's also a guy that's pretty banged up, though. Like we talk about Jokic being banged up. I think he's one of the guys that's near the list.
It doesn't seem like he's got the same explosion or athleticism, especially on those transition opportunities.
Yeah.
I feel like usually, he's got so much aggression and so much decisiveness going to the rim. Doesn't feel like has that same confidence in those moments, and I wonder if it's the foot injury.
Well, the last guy I actually want to talk about, and I'll throw it to you since there's not a lot of intrigue on Christian Braun. Zeke Naji tonight played 12 minutes. How many rebounds would you guess he had?
Zeke Naji had 0 rebounds.
0 rebounds, man. That's tough. That's line item number 1.
Yeah, man.
It was a ±0. But
It does feel like Zeke's been sliding backwards here in the last couple of weeks. Now, many have pointed out more non-Jokic minutes, more in the 5 minutes. Both of those things are factors. But also, all right, the play where he actually draws the foul on Thompson, but Thompson's kind of barking at him, box out. Thompson was right. Bro, box out. I know he got fouled, but it was just, I don't understand, It almost reminded me of the loose ball that we were talking about from last game. It just sort of feels like, if Zeke misses a shot, that's fine. But you have to be the guy that makes all those plays, right?
Yeah.
Now, ultimately, I'm not going to sit here and kill Zeke. This was a good game. Almost everyone stepped up. But the difference between the guy who's playing harder than everyone else on the floor and the guy who is out there tonight, I think you can see it. I think it's pretty glaring.
Zeke has been looking like the old Zeke more and more.
The old Zeke.
And that's not good. I feel like a lot of it has to do with him playing backup center.
You think it's as simple as that? He just can't do it.
I think it's a lot of it, and I think a lot of it is also not playing any minutes next to Nikola Jokic because Nikola Jokic hasn't been playing.
Yeah.
I think it's both those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no rebounds in 12 minutes. Not great.
And it is crazy. DeAndre can't do this all the time, but it is wild that he can come in every now and then, play 38 minutes.
He's going to give
you
rebounds.
15 boards.
Yeah.
4 assists, by the way, too.
Yeah.
38 minutes.
We're not expecting Zeke. We're not expecting Zeke to get 15 rebounds.
No. It's almost
He's
feels
just
impossible.
not that guy. He's not that guy. He's not going to do that.
But 0. And look, Steven Adams, that's a tough matchup. That's a strong dude.
He is.
As tough as anyone, but
yeah,
we shouldn't feel
it's funny. The Nuggets did a great job of rebounding in this game until Houston went with that double big lineup late, and they actually ended up out rebounding Denver.
This is why this game, because a lot of people will say, well, I'm not afraid of Houston now after that. They went with a double big lineup, and the primary reason they did that, I think, was because Denver, they felt like they could take advantage. I don't think they would do that against Jokic.
Yeah. It was because DJ was in the starting lineup, so off the bench, Nuggets were so small.
Yeah, and maybe they just didn't fear that they were going to have to be perimeter defensively,
And you would think in this matchup, you have DJ coming off the bench normally.
Maybe. Honestly, you play Houston in a playoffs, it might be a no Zeke. You talk about who are the real guys if you play Houston, it might be DeAndre Jordan and Russell Westbrook.
Maybe.
That's your 7 right there.
And
maybe a little PWat.
I do think the sort of 7.5 thing, I do think it'll be, depending on the matchup, it does make more sense,
Yeah.
And some guys also may get a stint and then it doesn't go well and you never see him again.
Right.
But yeah, man, if that were an issue in the Rockets series, absolutely throw him out there. He proved it tonight.
All right, let's do a little standings peeping here. Peep on some standings.
Peeping. Is that pre-leaf peeping?
Pre-leaf peeping. The Rockets now fall to just 1 game ahead of the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are now 1 game ahead of the Lakers in that 3 seed. This is kind of important.
It's a big win.
Now, here's what's crazy. The Nuggets season now, they are 1 win and 1 loss against the Houston Rockets. They play a final time. The last game of the season at 1:30. Denver wraps up their schedule. They'll play Golden State on the 4th. They've got Indiana and Sacramento in between there. And then they have Memphis at home, Houston on the road. That's the end. I'm telling you guys, I can already see it.
That's going to be
I can already see it. This is setting up for the ultimate. Nuggets will control the entire Western Conference standings.
Or the Rockets will.
And it'll be interesting to see what teams want there. I think Denver will want to rig the standings a little bit because there's a real chance that you could pick Memphis in the first round, which to me is the only team
That's the
1 through
ultimate prize.
8 that feels like they are. I mean, I don't want to say easy because I think all of them are tough, and I do have respect for Memphis, but they're the ones that I think in a playoff series are going to be the most limited. Denver's going to come down to Memphis, Houston at the end. This game mattered a lot for Denver's ability to say, nope, we want the 2 seed. We're going to go into Houston, and now if we win that, we'll get it.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting how much Nikola Jokic plays down the stretch with that in mind. You know, he didn't play tonight. He's not playing tomorrow against the Bulls. Michael Malone said he's going to play at some point during this 5-game homestand.
So here's the thing about
Chicago, Milwaukee, Utah, Minnesota, San Antonio.
So here's the thing. You're not going to come back against Minnesota, I don't think. I think that's a tough game when you miss 2 weeks to come back and be like Minnesota, the most important game. So in my mind, he's either coming back against Utah or against San Antonio.
So you don't think he's playing Wednesday against Milwaukee?
I don't think so. It is possible. I don't think so, but I mean, he could. But to me, it's either going to be that Utah game, get ready for the Minnesota one, then you get 3 days off, I believe, before that one. Yeah, Friday.
And maybe it depends how they
Tuesday.
play tomorrow.
Actually, 4 days off. If you play Utah, you get Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You play Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So I would bet they try to play him in that Utah game to give him some run, low lift game, or they just hold him out and say, all right.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If they beat Chicago, maybe it pushes the timeline back.
Could be. But just as you're looking at the standings here, are you set for manipulation in the final days?
No, because I don't, it just still feels like so many different things are on the table. Do you know what I mean? But
but they're not going to be that separated at that point.
As you laid out, when it gets to those games, it is.
You want Memphis, though. If you can play Memphis and you can win or lose to get Memphis, you do that.
I mean, I'm wondering if there's a chance where you could get Memphis, and then if Houston wins, you get Houston in the second round. But that's being greedy. Right now, just win some games. Definitely go beat the Bulls tomorrow, please, who just showtime to the Lakers last night. But, I mean, yeah, I think,
man,
I definitely feel less like, okay, just go get the 2 seed at all costs versus, all right, if Jokic is healthy and it's a top 4 seed, that matters more.
Listen to Houston's schedule, by the way. They've got Atlanta coming up. They should win that one at home. They're at Utah. They should win that one. At Phoenix on rest. They should probably honestly win that one, although you never know. And then here's how they close out. At Lakers, Utah at home, Thunder, Warriors, Clippers, Lakers, Nuggets. They play all the Western Conference playoff teams in a row to close out the season.
What's with everybody playing Utah late in the season?
Well,
I mean, someone has to play Utah at some
somebody
point,
has to play them eventually.
They are built into the schedule.
Utah
So I
games?
look at that record and I just go, I think their close to the season is probably marginally different than Denver. They're all tough, but marginally different. So that last game. And now the flip side of that is, let's say Denver really wants to win. You'd love to buy a little rest, a little bit of rest. I just love this idea that last year it came down to that game against Minnesota, then they fumbled to San Antonio late. I kind of love the idea of the last game being the one that matters most. It's like, if you win, you get the 2 seed in a matchup with Memphis, but if you lose, you get the 5 seed and go on the road against the Lakers.
Right.
Something like that, where it's like, oh my God.
Honestly, man, I'm going to fall all the way back to beggars can't be choosers territory. Just play some good basketball, man. That's all I want to see.
I kind of like it, though. I kind of like it. Do you have a take on this team after watching them, tonight?
No, I mean, look, I do think that all around the league, I am not just talking about Denver, all around the league, late March is late marching this year. There's just no doubt about it. If you're scoreboard watching everyone.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say it's not about they won this game and they lost this game, and that means they can or they can't. I think this team is not worth writing off. I would not pick them. Said it many times, but they are not worth writing off. As Malone said after the game tonight, when they care about the little things, when they focus on rebounding, when they play hard like that, he likes their chances.
Yeah.
To what extent are these controllable factors? These guys have been lazy versus they just don't have the juice anymore. I don't think we're going to get that definitive answer till round 1. So I don't know, man.
I don't think we are either. But the reason why this game gives me a little bit more confidence is what they did on the defensive end.
Agreed.
This was a very good defensive game from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And if we see a couple more of these, that should give you confidence about this team in the playoffs. Defense is the number one reason why we have our doubts about the Nuggets. Can they just lock in for long enough defensively in a playoff environment and really execute? and play smart and play disciplined and not mess up rotations and just play solid. And they did that tonight. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't know if they had that in them. I don't know. I did not know if they had a defensive game like this in them. But I was pretty impressed with how they just played and, like I said, how disciplined they were and how locked in they were from beginning, not the very beginning, but like the 7-minute mark of the first quarter until the end of this one.
If you told me going on a 4-game road trip, they'd go 2-2, Jokic would play in none of those, Jamal Murray would miss one of them, and they go 2-2, getting a win at Golden State, at Houston, get losses at LA and Portland, I actually think Nuggets fans might take that under those circumstances.
Yeah, of course.
And so I think what sucks is that the blowout loss to the Lakers was never close. It was kind of a rout.
Yeah.
The loss to Portland was a 20-point loss, even though it was close for most of the game, and the ending of it was kind of pathetic. So it almost stings, but you just step back and go, you know what? That stretch, 2-2, not the worst, man.
Of course you take it.
Not the worst. So to me, I'm a little encouraged. Let's look forward now. They got Chicago tomorrow night. To back-to-back. That was a brutal road trip. How do you approach that one, Vogt? No Yoke. He's already ruled out.
It's all right. So it's tough because, like, if you look at the schedule with the Bucks game around the corner, part of me wants to say, like, yeah, you want to go get this one, and then you keep everyone out in that Bucks game if you have to. But I mean, Jamal played a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Took a lot of shots. Looked tired. I thought, understandably. And has that right ankle sprain still that he's nursing. I got to just answer your question with a question. Does Jamal play tomorrow? Should he play tomorrow?
I kind of feel like he won't, but I don't know, man.
I feel like he might try to. I would try to not play him tomorrow, though.
What about Aaron Gordon?
I would try not to play him tomorrow.
So you might punt on that game. They're not winning without Yoke, Murray, or AG.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's Chicago. Like, they're liable to throw up a dud.
It's just murdered the Lakers.
Yeah, they just sliced them up. You never know right now, really.
Beat Sacramento too.
Yeah, I'd probably try to play it conservatively because I know now we beat the Rockets, the 2 seeds right there. Like, I know we just talked about standings manipulation. Health is a bigger priority. I would still rather the 4 seed and maybe you have a tougher first round opponent than the 2 seed and everybody's exhausted.
The Nuggets, I want them tested by these good teams. If you look at the tests remaining on the schedule, there's 10 games. Milwaukee, I think, is a test. Minnesota's the biggest test remaining on the season. That's next Tuesday, a week from Tuesday. They have at Golden State's another test. They have Memphis and Houston, which are tests. And by the way, Indiana, Sacramento, this is actually a tough schedule to end the year. Denver has a lot of tough games. But if I had to pick the ones I really want them tested on, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Golden State, Houston, those would be the ones.
Yep.
And so for me, I would prioritize them, and I'm with you. The Nuggets came into this year saying we were dead tired last year, not again. They put themselves in position to where it seems like actually that's on the table if you're not careful.
Right.
So one way to be careful is to say 4-game road trip, come back home, immediately into a back-to-back. You know what? Let's see if Russ can go out there and get it. Let's see if maybe Michael Porter even. Let's see if Russ, Michael Porter, and the kids can go out there and get us a win.
Yeah, I mean, I would. That's the view I would try to have.
Yeah.
Like this is the point in the season, like last year, where they got worn out and hit the E. So I would try to learn from that.
All right, what do we have in the super chat department, Kale?
Got some stuff coming.
Everybody watching White Lotus tonight? What's everybody doing?
There's people watching us.
Okay.
We got 1,200 people hanging out.
Hey, the homies, man.
Where are my common
We're
side
watching
effects guys
White
at?
Lotus after this. We're going home to watch
We're
it.
actually gonna do a live watch along.
Yeah,
Hey,
why
man,
not?
It's not the pandemic anymore. We don't have to do that.
We're just live for our free
I'm
time
into
now.
it.
And then
man.
a post game, a
I'm into
post show.
Dude, when you find a show that you're into, it's the best. I feel like I try too many shows. You don't get it. You know, you're not
When
into
you're
them.
really into a show,
Oh,
there's
it's the
nothing quite
best.
like it.
You want to read
Shout
about
out to
them?
my common side effects watcher. New episodes tonight. Okay. The boy's dad. By the way, I haven't heard much this season about DeAndre Jordan as a culture leader and exemplar. What's up with that?
Maybe we just haven't talked about it enough. I think he is that.
Yeah,
I think part of it is that the culture didn't feel awesome at times.
Yeah.
maybe.
Which I'm not putting on him.
He was
But yeah.
clearly out of bounds.
I think he's been a great culture guy again, though.
Mr. Exquisite Nugget. Houston, you have a problem. It's Blue Arrow and Mr. Nugget. LFG.
All right, there you go. Houston, you have a problem.
Ziam Beg. Nuggets +5 in non-Jokic minutes. Of course they won.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
That's the only stat that matters tonight.
Yeah.
Diz, a good vibey win. This team is 1,000,000% losing to Chicago tomorrow. Hashtag can't fool me.
What will it take?
Come on,
Diz.
Diz.
Hold on. Let's take a little break. Let's take a little break here. What will it take? Because Nuggets Nation is down right now. Even us. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not. People sometimes will be like, well, think I have a motivation for my take. It's not true. I just am not going to give the Nuggets. I'm not going to beat them up if they don't deserve it. And I'm not going to say, oh, I believe if I don't believe. Right now, I don't believe. And I think Diz over here doesn't believe. But that's a level of negativity that's like, come on, they might lose to Chicago tomorrow.
They also might win.
But what will it take for the Dizzes of the world to not immediately go to the worst case scenario in a winner's lounge?
Looking great in round one.
You think it'll be the playoffs?
I don't think anything. Yeah, I don't think we're going to fully solve this problem until if they look amazing.
I disagree, man. There's big games coming up, and if Denver just gets a couple of them in a row, like 3 of them,
I'd love
like
that.
Milwaukee, Minnesota, and Golden State, you get all 3 of those in a row. I think Nuggets fans will be like, you know what? Talk about
March basketball, man.
I agree. Yvonne, MBG 62. First time I felt sorry for Jamal. He was tired. A lot of players who can't handle the ball. MPJ, you are 7 years in the league and still can't dribble. He
not his skill.
He can't bend over. So
yeah, it's just not his skill.
It's just never gonna
I will
happen.
say, because look, man, Jamal tonight being tired is a story to me. Not because it's like fair or whatever, but because in the playoffs, he was tired in that Minnesota series a lot. They got real physical with him. Denver does have weaknesses that put more on his shoulder. Guess what? Yoke's going to be tired too. He's got to rebound for a team that can't rebound on their own.
Right.
Like, he's got to score and set the table. So I don't say that as a criticism of like trying to be harsh on him. I just know that in the playoffs, he's going to have to be as great as he was for 3 quarters, for 4 quarters.
Right.
Fair or not?
Josh Barnett from down under. D-line, wake up. We are so unbelievably back. The year of Jamal Murray.
Can't believe D-line called in for this game.
I know. Poor guy.
For this one.
I called him. He was out cold. I think our guy is really
He did
down
have
bad.
his big CSU game today, though.
Yvonne MBG 62. Love for all of you except Eric.
Oh, wow.
He always screams when he reads my super chat where I objectively critique the team. He said, I'm not respecting your opinion. That's disrespectful. Vogt knows this. Love for you.
That is a wild
Eric,
super
not
chat.
even here. Dude, I like that he's like, he screams when he reads my super chat.
Also, just throwing me under the bus with D-line there.
By the way, here's how the super chat works. You get to say, like, send something in and we will read it. We don't have to agree with it. And it's like you get to be part of the show via super chat.
Right.
But sometimes I bully Vote. Sometimes I bully Wind.
There's bullying
Sometimes
on
we
this
bully
show.
each other. You hop in the super chat, guess what? You are open for bully season.
You are susceptible to bullying.
It's
Oh, yeah.
Put your guard up.
I mean, Michael Porter Truther just gets in there and talks shit to us. We're probably going to not see him tonight. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. Hey, look, it's our guy, Ime Walker. You see him on TV right now?
Dude, I almost
Heck
texted you
yeah!
guys. 'Cause
Let's
I saw him in this
go,
commercial
man.
the
Our
other
guy,
night.
friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
I like
tough
our
segment
guy.
for the
That's our guy.
podcast listeners, though. Let's go back to the super chat. Chunk Dickwell's burner account. 9 games left. 10-game win streak incoming to end the season. With the game being in the... that'd be unbelievable.
Isn't there 10 games left, though?
That'd be the most Nuggets thing ever, man.
With the game being in the Toyota Center, I was reminded
10
why a
games.
chicken coop has 2 doors. Because if it had 4 doors, it would be a chicken sedan.
Oh,
The game
that's
was
great.
in the Toyota Center,
Dude.
and we're live from the Toyota Lounge.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna
That's
drive
kinda
home in
crazy.
my Toyota.
All right, real question. Do you think he has a book? Is he using a website? What's he doing here? Is this all off the top of the dome?
I think it's off the top
Dickwell's
of the
burner?
dome.
Yeah.
It's off the dome.
Off the dome,
It's
man.
gotta be. I mean,
All
that's
right.
too topical to be from
Yeah.
a book.
I think it gets in the lab
What
at
book
halftime.
has a joke with Toyota Center?
Yeah.
Maybe
Agree.
Chat GPT. He's like, Chat GPT, I need a pun
I'd be
using the
heartbroken.
Toyota.
I want to believe it's pure creativity.
Pure create.
Five. Oh, sorry. First, Amin. The thing is, can he do this every night? Speaking of Jamal, 10 field goal attempts versus the effing Blazers.
I mean, that is one of the questions. I mean, but again,
I'm not asking Jamal to score 40 points every night.
he didn't score 40 tonight.
Or 39.
He did have, by the way, he has 11 30-point games this year. That's the most of his career.
Wow.
I think his previous high was 9 in the regular season. So the highs slightly more frequent.
I mean, he had the double nickel as well.
How many will he have? How many more 30-point games will he have this year? There's 10 games to go.
I'll say 2.
He's averaging about 1.5 every 10 games.
Does he have 9 now
So
on the
I'll-
year or 10 on the
so
year?
I'll say
He has
2
11.
more.
11, you
I'll
said,
say
sorry?
2 more.
Yeah, I'll say 1 more.
I'll go 2 more as well. You know what? 2 big games from Jamal coming in.
I think he only had 8 all of last season. 5-5-5-5-5-ish. Great bounce back win. 531 minutes and 4 seconds down. Only 23 seconds.
Bro, we could
23
get
minutes
this.
and
We are
56
officially
seconds.
on the clock.
Yeah.
He
can't
could play
believe it.
23-56 next game if there's no Jokic.
Yep.
How many did he play
This
tonight?
could happen tomorrow. Kale, we need a graphic.
I'll get a graphic
Get
ready.
a graphic going.
This is the most against all odds, and it might come down with room to spare.
Oh my God.
Kale, you
believe
should we should find a way to like take little shots of all his different super chats and put them all in one of those graphics.
Okay.
As the texture.
All right. Yeah. I can see that. That's a good
It's
idea.
incredible.
5 says my
That's what I do.
condolences to
I think of
D-Line after the
graphics.
CSU game. All the Nuggets are real guys, LFG.
Nuggets are real guys.
Yvonne, MBG 62. We almost looked like Dallas last year with worst D. We don't care about seeding. Our focus is to rest main guys. And we didn't have our Gafford PJ trade. I feel like there were a lot of ifs to that, but, you know,
You know what? I love it though. You know what? Optimism.
I love it. Get hot at the right time. History Channel 5280. Props to Malone for starting Jordan over Westbrook. Couldn't have been an easy conversation, but it was the right move, in my opinion.
I do
was
think
a
there's
great
something
move.
to this, man. I'm telling you, Michael Malone, I think, has a hard time not starting Russ.
Yeah.
I just think it's like one of the dynamics of like,
Especially when it's
stuff.
Zeke Najee. It's one thing if it's DeAndre Jordan,
But
Christian Brown.
they're not doing that. They're mostly just like, we're gonna go really tiny tonight.
Right.
It was
right,
a great move though. It's been a little weird how DJ just hasn't played
Yeah.
in the last 3 weeks or so. But
Plays
they needed
38
him.
tonight.
They needed his rebounding absolutely.
Peter Duck. All the Nuggets are good. Fire it up, Kale. The winnow meter. Love DNVR.
Fire it up, Kale.
right.
Fire it up.
Fire it up!
I mean, I don't care what Legler says. Denver needs to avoid the Wolves in a 2-7 matchup. The margin is already super thin. I think it's good to plan for a favorable matchup.
Bro, so if you don't listen to the Legler show, all NBA with me and Tim Legler, we have a thing because he says sometimes
We heard you don't react to the inside jokes on that show.
Well, to our inside jokes, is that
That's
what it
what
is?
the people are saying.
Well, it's because then I have to explain to Tim Legler that a frog actually
Lakers
has no.
fans and
Yeah,
stuff, really.
like he's gonna be like, what?
Legler's like, is that the racist frog?
No, it's not that
No,
one.
it's not that one.
No,
that
it's
one.
not.
No.
It was the emoji of the game, and
But we have a running bit called pillow talk because he always will sometimes think that I have this like really soft take. I told him I thought that teams, the Nuggets namely, should jockey for position. He thinks, genuinely speaking, not just teasing me, it's the craziest thing anybody could have ever thought of. The idea
manipulate the standings?
To manipulate the standings. He's like, you just want the highest seed. There's nothing else to consider. And I just couldn't disagree with him more.
Some earnest disagreement on the All-NBA.
so does he not want to mess with the basketball gods, or he just thinks it's soft?
He just thinks you want home court as long as you can have it. And yes, it's soft. Like, he's like, professional athletes, you're not telling them we're afraid of this team. And I'm like, you're not saying that.
Yeah, right.
But if you say we can avoid them.
What if you could play Hunter Tyson a lot in one game? Chunk Dick Rolls Burner. Joker needs to name a horse the full Westbrook experience. Jonas, as a Houston resident, I've gotten too used to leaving Toyota Center disappointed when Denver plays, but not tonight. And lots of Nuggets fans out tonight.
Man,
Like,
you've
yeah.
seen a lot of L's depending on
Yeah,
how long
dude.
you've been going to Rockets Nuggets games.
that guy hates James Harden.
Yeah.
That guy hates James Harden.
man, that was tough.
I can only imagine. Yo, is Clint Capella actually better than Jokic? Genuinely nice people. Only 19 games with starting 14-5, and still playing for a 2 seed and 50+
I
wins.
don't think that's
I don't
correct.
think that's accurate either, but it feels good. Just this is run with it.
Nuggets, Jokic, heal thyself and get ready. We got a parade waiting.
I actually went through this yesterday because D-Line has been asking about this. Like, what is the Nuggets' record when they not just have their starting 5 available,
But also
when
rest?
they have everybody, their opening night, like projected rotation available, they're 4-5.
That's it.
Yeah.
4-5, 9
Yeah.
games.
9 games.
But it's also not great.
But like these wins don't count now if we're going by that because Julian Strawther's not available.
Well, come on.
Well, that's the point though,
Okay,
because he was
all right.
talking about like PWat and
Yeah.
So you were asking me earlier what I think of this team. I think Nick Trumbo nails it right here. I give up trying to make any definitive statement about them.
that's probably the correct.
No ideas what to expect. Anything is possible.
If you guys are watching us right now on your Fast channel, head on over to Overtime. Watch us up on the internet. We're going to finish this show out over there with curse words.
On the interwebs.
Oh fuck yeah!
We're online with D-Line today. Kyle M. Hey, Adam.
Hey, it's my turn today. Hell yeah.
50
What up,
burger from Terrence Hall. This is coming straight
Wow,
from my
thank you.
Monarch winnings.
Oh, hell yeah.
hell yeah.
We were there yesterday.
Hi, Adam and Kale with a C. Kale with C and 2 L's. Kale with a K.
It's K with 2 L's.
K with 2 L's.
Yeah, 0 for 3, buddy, but you tried. You
I
tried.
don't know how to spell
also,
it.
it's Kale. Who cares?
And then he says, write the report. Go Nuggets, but this season has me losing my hair. Let's meet up and I'll show you how to win at slots.
That was awesome. Good to see some homies out and about
Please do show
yesterday.
me how
I
to
also
win
love
at
the
slots.
idea. I love when people say, write the report. Also, you won.
I like the idea that there's just something I'm missing to being good at slots. Like there's a strategy thing I'm not getting. Nick Bevilacqua, this team has shown us all season that they can be great and awful. Let's hope it's great for the playoffs. Hashtag all the Nuggets are good.
Could be, man.
It's a
Could
question
be.
people are asking.
Maddox, it's a real theme here, guys. The playoffs could go from first round out to champs. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm kind of with everybody. It seems like every scenario is on the table.
We might get an all-time sweating out every round of the playoffs.
Oh, God. I
You
don't know if I can handle
First
that.
round goes to 7, second round goes to 7,
like a
third
3-1
round, we're just
3-1
like,
comeback.
We can't take
I
this
think
anymore.
I'll be more annoyed if they just look great. Like if
You'll
they're just
be-
playing defense and
you actually
rebounding,
be
I'm
mad
gonna be
at them for a
extra
couple
upset
rounds.
about everything else. Megan Nowak, the Nuggets are not a small ball team. We need a true 5 to start. It's what they are used to.
I agree.
Megan, it worked tonight.
Yeah.
It's looking like a good take tonight.
Then tonight, that was the play. All right, Cal, you want to hit that outro music for us? Everybody, Nuggets get a win in the winner's lounge.
A great win.
You know, was it me being gone? That's what happened. I brought the good luck.
I mean,
That's what D-Line would say.
you didn't bring the luck. Were you on the Warriors game?
I was on the Warriors
Okay,
game.
all
You know
right.
what? I'm just saying.
Maybe it is you.
I was on the Wizards game too, though. So
Ah,
that's on both Wizards
you're
games.
right.
Those are
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters at all. Things happen. We sit down in these seats. We have no idea what to expect. This Denver Nuggets team, they are a mystery box wrapped in an enigma.
Bulls tomorrow.
Bulls tomorrow. We enjoyed watching it with you. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Hey, we have a party bus, a takeover on April 11th, man. Sell this out with us. They're always fun. You guys see the people come on the show. Nobody ever says, oh, man, it's not worth it, right? Everybody's
Right.
always like, dude, this was awesome. Some people become lifelong friends on it. You can find that on our webpage. Hit that like button on the way out. See ya.